half of Hook Dorm is empty and the residents relocated. We'll tell you why.
The easy road is to do nothing.
Racial slurs sparked the campus movement. Find out how students and campus leaders are working together to solve the problem. I'm Addie Haney.
And I'm Nicole Chadwick. You're watching Phoenix 14 News tonight.
Freshmen asked to move out just 3 weeks after they move in. Nicole Chadwick has a story you'll hear first on 14. Nicole?
Residents of 2 suites in Hook Dormitory moved out of their rooms this weekend. Phoenix 14 told you about the leak that prevented students from moving into the first floor. As a result of that same leak, all the residents near the pipe had to pack up.
These are both going to storage. This is just really inconvenient and annoying, and not something that I would like to be doing.
Isabel Nessie moved into Elon only 3 weeks ago, but now she's moving out.
And I just like finished unpacking everything, and now I'm packing it back up again.
Students in Hook were given cardboard boxes and plastic trash bags and told that they had less than 24 hours to pack up and move out. Physical Plant has been cleaning the dorm since the beginning of school, but only on the first floor. Residence Life told Phoenix 14 in an email that an abnormal amount of mold spores were found in the air in suites 202 and 302 of Hook Dormitory, and they need to be cleaned for students to safely live there. Most students are moving to Campus Trace Apartments, 1.5 miles off campus, past Danieli and the Crest. But Isabel Nessie refused.
I don't have a car, and I wouldn't be able to walk.
She's moving across campus to Old Staley for at least a week.
Make sure that that's going to Old Staley, though.
She's hoping Residence Life is true to their word.
They're telling us, like, it'll only be 7 to 10 days, so I'm only packing stuff for 7 to 10 days, and I'll be so angry if it's longer than that.
We asked Physical Plant to comment on the mold, but they were unavailable. Stay with Phoenix 14 News for continuing coverage of this story. Addie.
Elon's campus is still looking for answers following the racial slur incidents. Joe Bruno looked into how students and campus leaders are responding.
What does a student do if this happens again?
The racial slur incidents are still fresh in the minds of Elon students.
This is not an incident that we plan to just have college coffee or watch a presentation or have a speaker on and have higher learning. This is something that affects our immediate environment, and I think we're definitely committed to keeping our community healthy.
Campus leaders condemned the incidents, but each gave students different answers about where to go from here.
Well, I'm sure that we will evaluate the response. I think we have a good response program. I think there's always a question of, is it visible and known to students?
At the SGA meeting Thursday, President Leo Lambert encouraged everyone to take a deep look into the actions.
Let's use our heads. Let's think. That the actions that occurred last week are thoughtless and hurtful. Most importantly of all, are morally wrong.
Student Government President Sam Warren was disappointed with the incidents and shared SGA's plans.
So we're definitely taking this a lot more serious than we originally, thought we would have to. We are planning on writing a resolution next week, just kind of condemning not only these acts, but also acts of, say, like slurs for people of different sexual orientations, things of that nature as well.
Police Chief Chuck Gantos says the criminal investigation is still ongoing.
We haven't ruled anybody out yet. We've got some that we've put on a list and says these are probably not the people, but until we find a person, we're not ruling anybody out.
Joe Bruno, Phoenix 14 News tonight.
We want to hear from you. Let us know how you think campus officials are handling this situation. Tweet us your thoughts and continue to check our website for the latest information on this incident.
2 weeks ago, Phoenix 14 was the first to tell you about license plate theft and damage in the Danieli Center. One student's car was targeted again. 2 license plates, including Steven Sotolongo's, were vandalized in the Danieli E parking lot Wednesday afternoon. Sotolongo's plate was damaged twice, and he's hoping the police will change how they patrol Danieli.
You know, honestly, I would hope that this would be enough for them to put up at least a couple of security cameras. I mean, I know that's not something that you could just do overnight. And I mean, I hate to question the university like this, but I just refuse to believe they don't have money to put up a couple cameras. And we were talking about earlier, if the security is that low on their list of priorities, maybe they should rethink things. Maybe they should stop constantly looking for drinking and start looking for vandalization and things like that.
There are currently no security cameras in the Danieli Center. We spoke to Campus Police Chief Chuck Gantos to find out what they're doing to stop the vandalism.
Well, we've increased patrol, obviously, but the camera situation is we have to do it on a funds available basis, and the Danieli Center is the next area. So as soon as we can get some funds, we'll be glad to put them up. We love our cameras.
Student loan defaults are at a 10-year high. According to a report from the Department of Education, more than 8% of students who borrowed money from government didn't meet their payments within a 2-year period. But the opportunity an education gives is still highly valued. David Hodges showed us why Elon students are getting a big bang for their borrowed buck.
Chelsea Yarborough knew that Elon was for her from the moment she stepped on campus. But just like 40% of students here, to make it her home, she needed to take out a loan.
For me, I'm getting my money's worth because what I've gotten is priceless, which is to find my purpose, is to really find solidly who I am and to be able to live that person regardless of what other people think. It's because they didn't give their faith to God. Yarborough will leave Elon for seminary school, but she'll also be leaving with debt. The average Elon student with aid graduates with $22,000 of it, but Yarborough is already saving money to pay it off. So I'll just make it like a regular bill. You know, you wouldn't not pay your light bill, you don't want to sit in the dark. So I don't want to pay my not pay my loan bill and have them, stalking me. I want to live my life.
Measuring the default rate can be misleading. Private schools like Elon saw an increase of just more than 0.5%. Public universities, just more than 1%. But for-profit universities like the University of Phoenix saw an increase from 11 to 15%. While their diploma may be expensive, some students think employers see little value in their degree.
And a lot of places that you go to find employment or to start your own thing, they look at some of these sheets of paper as just sheets of your certificates as just sheets of paper.
Lashika Striblin attends one of 2 for-profit schools in Greensboro, the other being Stryer. She believes that in this job market, it's harder for students who graduate from a for-profit school, and the numbers tend to agree.
Our default rate dropped from 1.2 to 0.9 from 2008 to 2009. And think about what happened in 2008. The economy, that's when it went in the tank.
Caleb Byer is one of many who paid off his loans recently. Last year, only 6 Elon graduates could not.
I really kind of saw getting that student loan taken care of as the first thing before I could really start planning for the rest of my future.
And even before buying furniture for his new apartment. His plan to pay the bills worked, and after seminary school, Yarborough wants to do the same. So the federal government keeps their faith in her.
Regardless of how many loans I have, I know that I was brought here for a purpose and that I feel like I've served that purpose. So in my opinion, I feel like God's not gonna leave me hanging and I'm just gonna be like, broke like with the federal government chasing after me. But I'm just confident that if I take the steps that I need to take, that everything else will fall into place.
David Hodges, Phoenix 14 News.
If you have some college loans, we have some tips to help you pay them off. First, figure out how much money you owe and to who. From there, you can make a payment budget. Live like you're still a student. If you continue to limit your spending, you'll have more money for loan payments. Avoid other debt and get a second job if you can. Pay off your student loans as quickly as you can to avoid interest. And some loans reward you for paying on time, so take advantage of offers like that.
Graduates have many decisions to make once they get their diplomas, like finding jobs and figuring out where to live. Apartments.com and CareerRookie.com are trying to make it easier. They ranked the top 10 cities based on job opportunities and the cost of living. First on the list is Hartford, Connecticut, following after are Cleveland, Boston, Denver, and Minneapolis. There aren't any North Carolina cities on their list. Elon continues to get noticed for its campus and academics. The U.S. News and World Report recognizes Elon as the second best Southern Regional University for 2012. Rollins College in Florida was ranked #1. Undergraduate programs, size of the school, and cost of tuition were some criteria that were considered for the rankings.
Elon is losing part of a popular fellows program. The North Carolina Teaching Fellows program is no longer being funded by the state, but Elon will continue to have national teaching fellows. Our Elizabeth Cantliner talked to North Carolina State Teaching Fellows to see how they are trying to save their program.
Elon sophomore Kyle Keith is a North Carolina teaching fellow. When he found out that North Carolina was discontinuing the state teaching fellows program, he rallied with other teaching fellows to take action.
Teaching fellows from like East Carolina, UNC Asheville, Appalachian State, we all got together, went to Raleigh for a lobbyist day for teaching fellows.
However, the representatives didn't react the way they hoped.
I got told by one senator from my district that he was trying to peel back 100 years of bureaucracy right now, and that my little program didn't really matter that much to him.
While Kyle and the other students were in Raleigh trying to save their program, Dr. Crawford and the other teaching fellows instructors were working behind the scenes.
We alerted all of our students, all of our alumni, teaching fellows, to contact congressmen, representatives. So we really did a really concerted effort across the state.
Though lobbying to congressmen didn't save their program, Dr. Crawford says that she is excited about having more national teaching fellows.
I think the best thing is that we have a longer time to recruit, and that we'll have a more diverse cohort, because we'll, instead of having one or two national in a class, we can have 50%.
Elizabeth Cantliner, Phoenix 14 News Tonight.
Even though the State Teaching Fellows program is being discontinued, all current Elon State Teaching Fellows are allowed to keep their scholarship until they graduate.
For anyone having trouble deciding on a college major, the Princeton Review is helping out. They just released the top 10 majors that provide most flexibility when applying for jobs. These degrees do not necessarily have the highest demand in the job market, but all offer skill sets that can be used in various careers. The top major is business administration, followed by psychology and nursing. Other popular majors on the list include biology, education, English, and economics. The list also includes communications, political science, and computer science as suitable majors. The Princeton Review advises students to pick a major they're passionate about and not what they think may be easier or more useful.
Coming up on Phoenix 14 News, constant texting could put a crick in your neck, literally. Find out how and what to do to prevent it.
We had some cold weather this weekend. Find out later if fall is here to stay or if warmer weather is coming back.
It looks like something straight from the circus. Coming up, I'll introduce you to this Elon student who has one unique hobby.